Go and touch the star. Okay then, so I see how this will goes then. So, I'm also bringing my stylus with me, so let's tap it, and let the power star shine through both the top screen and a little bit on bottom screen. Hey, what's up ladies and gentlemen, it is I, the one and only Sonic the Hedgehog here. Now I'm back for some more yet again for the likes of the Maxi Toys videos. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to our brand new redo Let's Play for our channel. This time around, we're about to be doing Super Mario 64 DS for the Nintendo DS. I think the only reason why we're going to be doing this game again is the fact that despite the quality itself looks really good back then, ever since in 2016, all the way up to 2017, despite the fact that we no longer have that original Let's Play of the game. And there's also another reason why that we're going to be doing a redo Let's Play of this game, is that, well, as I mentioned this before, at least the quality itself looks not too bad, and not too shabby either. But the problem with that is the fact that, well, sound mixing is pretty bad, and also that could be also say applies to the forms of the commentary, feels a bit washed out, and also not to mention, during the first part of our Let's Play back in the day, our commentary audio actually cuts out, and as a result, that we actually got ourselves our copyright strike, and as a result, yeah, I'm not too pleased about that. So because of that though, we'll do that game again, but this time around though, with a, well, much more better commentary, way more better sound mixing, and oh no, pretty much better than the forms of how it does it from before. So either way though, as you can see, that in Super Mario 64 DS, it did first came out in 2004 in Japan and North America, but it wasn't until when we get the game until 2005. And this is obviously a launch title for the Nintendo DS, which is pretty awesome actually. Much like the forms of Super Mario 64 in the original game that used to be a launch title for the 64. So, I'll get into more details about that specific stuff until later, because as you can tell, from the actual quality standpoint, I'm going to be playing this on the Wii U Virtual Console re-release version so that you can clearly see of what's going on in the actual capture recording. Plus this runs on 1080p, no technical hiccups or anything else like that. Well, I was going to try to do it on the actual emulator, but there's no point into that. So yeah, let's dive right in.
Dear Mario, please come to the castle. I've baked a cake for you. Yours truly, Princess Toadstool. Peach.
Yeah. Let's go. Oh yeah. Yo. Ah.
Yoshi. Listen. Mario hasn't returned yet. So yeah, let us begin the forms of Super Mario 64 DS. Now, rather than take control of Mario from the start, ever since in the original game, because instead we're going to be taking control of Yoshi to begin with this time around. I think it's clearly because of how the fact that, you remember what the Lakitu camera guy has already mentioned about this before? That Mario has not returned yet. So let's go in. Oh, really? The door's locked. Ah, it's no use. Oh wait, speaking of Lakitu, there he is right here. Uh-oh, looks like the doors are locked, huh? I saw a rabbit taking off with a key in his mouth. So, basically, why don't you have a look at the touchscreen, Yoshi? So yeah, basically, differently from the likes of the original Super Mario 64, that normally you're just about to be entering inside Princess Peach's castle from the start. Well, in here, we need to able to find one of those rabbits, and that way, if you manage to find them, then you would able to actually get yourselves a glorious key. So that way, you would be able to actually just, well, entering the castle itself. So, although the structure plays out exactly like the original game for sure, but there's going to be some slight new features and all that stuff, which we'll point it out whenever we're able to, well, continue on with this Let's Play itself. So, and obviously I'm going to be going for the 100% completion of this Let's Play, much like the forms of the majority of the 3D Mario game Let's Play-wise. So, I thought to myself I might as well do that. So, either way though, now let's go ahead and finally entering the castle. After all, we've got the key, so let's hop right in. And as anything else needs to say, welcome, no one's here. Now scram. Okay, Bowser's up to no good again. But of course it might be seems obviously is the fact that, well, the hub world itself, it plays out exactly like the forms of how it does in the original Super Mario 64, but obviously with updated visuals and everything else like this. So, anyways, let's hop right into the first world in this game, which is Bob-omb Battlefield. And much like in Super Mario 64, it's been mission structured. So, Big Bob-omb on the summon. So, in this case, let's hop on to the very first mission in Super Mario 64 DS. Now, if you ever played the original game before, you know exactly how this plays out to be, except the fact that the uniquest thing about this particular remake, the remake of Super Mario 64 than the likes of the original version of Super Mario 64, is that the uniquest selling point in this game is that you're able to actually play as, well, would say 4 playable characters. Like, one of them at the moment right now, we're still playing as Yoshi from time to time. And obviously his moveset, it might plays out pretty much exactly similar to Mario and all that stuff. Like, he can able to perform a long jump, and also he can able to, well, triple jump every once in a while, and his new ability that he does manage to pull up of his sleeves, that's what appears to be buddy forms of, well, rather than just trying to deal with a punch or a kick, unlike Mario, but Yoshi can able to actually eat up enemies just like in any other Yoshi games, ever since in Yoshi's Island and Super Mario World and any other jazz. And as you can see, we've managed to already come across into our first power star in the game. I know it's a bit out of order, but the mission is called Behind Chain Chomp's Gate, and this is obviously the 7th mission on that world. Now I say 7th mission because, in addition to able to bring into ourselves 4 playable characters, only 1 remake, which is awesome, but there's also going to be some exclusive new missions that was not found in the original version. So because of that though, speaking of the original version of Super Mario 64 actually, some of these missions might actually be replaced by the forms of, well, one of the missions in Bob-omb Battlefield, for example, that we'll talk more about it until then. So for now on though, we're focusing on the next mission, as far as I like to point things out, and that is of course take down Big Bob-omb, or King Bob-omb, if depending on what, whatever you want to call it that. So yeah, you probably get the idea of how this goes basically, so even then though, and I'm really hoping that my microphone doesn't cut off, unlike the forms of how it does it back in the forms of 2016, because while it did manage to able to cut off the actual commentary itself, this also means is the fact that I've got myself a notification saying copyright claim, and as a result I'm not very happy with this, so even then though, I am the Big Bob-omb, borrowing of all blasting matter, king of kabooms the world over, incredible. You have made it this far, even without a mustache, I commend your courage. Be that as it may, I can't give you my precious power star. You must defeat me in battle if you want it. You'll be quite helpless facing my Bob-omb minions. Now, put your tongue back in your mouth It's quite undignified. Let's battle. And yeah, what makes this fight a little bit different compared to the forms of how it does it on the first time around we face off against with King Bob-omb since the original game, except that now the fact that we now need to able to utilize his Yoshi's tongue for able to swallow up Bob-ombs and then just toss the Bob-omb right back at Big Bob-omb. And if you've done so already for about 3 times, then he'll be down for good. So because of that though, yeah, relatively easy boss fight if you manage to get the hang of this though, such as right here. Ow, that hurts. How did I lose to a blind-faced fella like you? Let's just keep this between you and me. I'll give you my precious power star in exchange. If you want to see me again, just select this star from the menu. Ah, I see, you're breaking the 4th wall, aren't you, Big Bob-omb, after when you, like, explode all by itself. But anyway, let's grab that power star and we'll be good to go for this point. So we got 2 power stars so far for this video, which is always swell. And I suppose we should probably still continue things on in Bob-omb Battlefield from now on and do the next mission, which is Foot Race with Koopa the Quick. And if you manage to able to utilize with Yoshi, if you manage to talk to Koopa Troopa, he'll say a different line. Howdy, do you know where Mario is? I've been looking, but he's nowhere to be found. You don't look like you're busy, if you don't mind. Would you bring Mario here? Thanks. So, yeah, this is one of those, character-specific required missions in order to able to actually accomplish certain things. Like, for example, as you notice on the touchscreen portion of the actual capture screen, there's a Mario cap. And if you do manage to able to obtain a Mario cap, as Yoshi, you would transform into Mario. But here's the thing, it's the fact that your voice doesn't immediately change, so you're always going to be stuck with Yoshi's voice. And as far as Mario's gameplay, as far as I'm concerned, he plays pretty much exactly like how he did in the original game. Like, he can able to long jump, and also to top it off, he can punch and do a triple jump and a kick. So that's pretty swell and awesome at the same time. So, but it wasn't until whenever we were able to unlock him though, that's the only thing. So because of that though, now we can able to actually speak to Koopa Troopa, and we can able to accept the race. So either way though, yeah, much like the original game, we need to make our way to the top of the summit and basically just manage to able to touch the flag, and we can surely win the race. So yeah, that pretty much sums it up for the sake of this very, well, this very moment's worth noting for. So because of that though, let's take some cool shortcuts right around here, like hopping onto that little, running onto the actual slope. And to top it off, there's going to be a teleportation thing somewhere, which appears to be right over here. So we can just enter in here, and hopefully we can able to touch the flag and finish the race like usual. Within like 43 seconds and 2 milliseconds, so yeah. Although, another thing is worth noting for is the fact that, in addition to able to utilizing with the forms of, well, there are a few different types of controllers you can able to, or the few different types of controls you can able to control this game. You can either utilize with the directional pad or with the 4 face buttons, or to be more specifically, button presses and all that stuff. And there's also the touchscreen controls, which I think if I were you, I think you might as well be better off playing with the buttons only, because, well, since this is the forms of a Nintendo DS launch title, as far as I'm aware, back in the forms of 2004. So in this case, it's one of those early days of Nintendo DS, is that they really love utilizing the forms of stylus controls back in the day. But we'll talk more about that whenever we get onto the future portions of this Let's Play. So, yeah, allow us to head back onto the forms of Bob-omb Battlefield and take on the next mission, which is 5 silver stars. And this is actually a new type of mission that was actually introduced in the 3D Mario games nonetheless, which it will continue that tradition until Super Mario Galaxy and Super Mario Galaxy 2 was a thing. Like obviously in this missions is that, well, obviously you need to obtain all 5 of those silver stars, and then once you've done so already, the power star actually showed up in the actual cage. So even then though, that pretty much sums it up for the sake of this mission. However though, unlike the forms of how it does it on Super Mario Galaxy 1 and Galaxy 2 essentially, if you manage to obtain the Silver Star, then you'll have it for good. Well, if you do take damage by the forms of certain enemies and any sort of hazards or something, well, to be more specifically, enemies themselves, that basically you don't need to worry about losing your Silver Star in Galaxy 1 and Galaxy 2. Whilst in here, if you do get hit by the forms of certain enemies, you will lose one of your Silver Stars. So you have to be very careful and not to risk yourself. Because otherwise, if you do keep on getting hit, then otherwise you're gonna have to able to, well, re-grab that Silver Star again. So even though that's something's worth noting for. So, you know, for the most part, it's not too difficult or anything else like that. So, yeah, that pretty much sums it up for the sake of the beginning portions of the games every nowadays. But eventually it gets pretty tricky later on, though. Well, we'll point it out whenever we get onto, likely, the next few missions coming up. So anyway, let's obtain the 5th and the final Silver Star. And again, as I mentioned this before, and I do apologize for that particular capture card glitch once again. Seriously, I do need to fix that at some point. Especially noticeable, it just keeps on aggravating me. Ever since in Journey Forms of, it did happen the same thing as in our one of those videos in Mario Party 3 recently in the backtrack board, and yeah, most of some parts of my capture card keeps on glitching up most of the time, so that could be a bit of a nuisance, I'm telling you, it's a bit of a nuisance. So anyway, so that's it for that, and I believe we're now going to be hit back onto Bob-omb Battlefield once again, and take on the next mission, which is Big Bob-omb's Revenge. Oh, so much for a payback, huh? So we have ourselves another new mission that's only exclusive to the DS remake, although before we get into that, let's go ahead and talk to this Bob-omb buddy, and able to actually activate the cannon for us. So hopefully we won't be able to do the future mission until, well, later on throughout the majority of the Let's Play itself. So either way though, because we'll talk more about that whenever we're able to actually continue progressioning for the sake of this particular Let's Play itself. So that pretty much sums it up from there. So anyways, let's go ahead and keep on utilizing the actual oh, and by the way, I think we do need to require Mario for this mission, because unlike the first time around that we did manage to face off against with you know, King Bob-omb on the first mission, that normally we actually did done with Yoshi by simply able to toss the bombs right back at him and basically deal with 3 hits. And I believe in this mission that we do need to require a Mario's cap, and that way we can able to actually just to deal with you know, Big Bob-omb for the second time. So because of that though, it will not work if you manage to utilize, well, if you play as, well, Yoshi the whole way through. So even then though, just keep that in mind. So anyways, let's avoid those little black balls and all that stuff though. And eventually we'll make our way to the top of the summit for the 3rd time in this world. So, and we meet up with him. The king refuses to be dejected by a single defeat. I'm back with a new star from Bowser. I've also restyled my mustache. I'm unstoppable. If you want the power star, you have to knock it out of me. But the only way to do that is to pick me up from behind and fling me down, and that will never happen. Bring it, Shorty. So yeah, basically this entire fight plays exactly like how it did in the forms of the original Super Mario 64. Like basically, rather than just utilizing the forms of well, specifically just trying to toss the bombs right back at Big Bob-omb, unlike the first mission, instead now we need to able to actually just to go behind him, and eventually you're gonna have to pick him up and toss it whatever angles you're gonna have to toss him into. So again, very simple, self-explanatory boss fight, but I do apologize if my commentary sounds a bit iffy at times, especially noticeable when I was going to read some text here and there. Sometimes though, it might be pretty hard to read sometimes, but that's how it is when it comes to capture recording. So anyways, much like the first time around, 3 hits I'm in, and he's down. Ow, that hurt. Your sneaking skills need help, but you're pretty strong. I've always wanted a servant like you. Here is your star, as I promised. Take it farewell. So yeah, we're now pretty much dealing well with the forms of Big Bob-omb for the second time, and we'll grab the another Power Star in the process. So yeah, that pretty much takes care of the forms of, well, we actually pretty much conclude 5 missions so far, so that's actually a pretty good, swell run. And I think we might as well do one more mission for Bob-omb Battlefield from now on. And because of that though, the next mission here we go on to is Mario Wings to the Sky. However though, much like the original Super Mario 64, I'm probably not going to do that mission just yet. Because I'm going to be taking on the forms of, well, let's just say, the Red Coin mission. So I figure I was able to get this out of the way before we move on to the forms of the next couple of missions in the future. So because of that though, yeah, I'm actually pretty chuffed about that. So anyway, few things I want to explain before I'm able to actually just to mention about that specific stuff though, is that I suppose that I haven't exactly mentioned about this ever since in Mario Party 3, and as well as the fact that you know how Maxie hasn't mentioned about this ever since in Knight's Journey of Dreams Let's Play, as well as the forms of Tiana that she did mention about this info, about the fact that with you know, what the actual situation about the fact that, how come that Nintendo Direct, you know, with the most recent one that we have seen, for almost about a month ago, almost. Now is the fact that why we didn't get any, information upon the forms of The Legend of Zelda's 35th anniversary stuff. The thing is about this, though, is that, well, usually, don't get me wrong, it will still happen during the forms of this year, but it's just the fact that the reason why that the recent Nintendo Direct didn't show that much in terms of The Legend of Zelda's 30th or 35th anniversary of certain things, and that was the fact that, dang it, that was my fail for that particular cannon shot, so, that's pretty miserable, but oh well, at least we can try again nonetheless. So, speaking of such though, is the fact that, the reason why that, well, aside from the fact that they did already reveal, The Legend of Zelda Skyward Sword HD for the sake of this July, aside from the fact that we haven't got that much info in terms of the Zelda's anniversary stuff, that's only because of the marketing strategy. And as a result for the specific stuff though, they really need to wait until when the Mario's 35th anniversary stuff is finished first, and then afterwards though, specifically later on throughout the year, we can definitely see some more info about the Zelda's 35th anniversary stuff. So, at least I'm excited for it though, until when that comes up. So, but either way though, that's all I can honestly try to say. So, anyway, so that pretty much takes care of it for Bob-omb Battlefield for now on. And we can probably do the final 2 missions for the sake of this video, and that will have to be by the forms of, well, the secret power stars inside the castle. So because of that though, we'll activate one of those star doors, and one of them is over there. So either way though, we can able to expect to do, let's just say we'll do the secret slide missions first, before we're able to do the next world and during at some point until Wednesday. So, yeah, that pretty much sums it up from here. So, anyway, so here we go onto this little secret slide mission, as you can see. And, obviously, much like the original game, basically there are 2 secret, power stars, or 2 power stars in these kind of courses like these. And one of them, you do need to beat this secret slide with under 21 seconds. And if you accomplish that, then the power star just managed to appear. And then there's also the another power star, it's just hidden in the actual, you know, the yellow exclamation mark block. So even then, we'll go after that in a moment, because either way though, after we saved our game quickly, so because of that though, we can expect this much. So, I know a lot of people's Let's Plays of Super Mario 64 DS differs a lot compared to everyone, because I always attempt to do my own method, but able to actually go what kind of missions I'm going for. So even then, although it's nothing like, you know, the likes of Super Mario Sunshine, that you're gonna have to go for the actual, the ordeal of, you know, all these missions in the correct order. So that might pretty much sums it up for the actual, you know what I mean. So, anyway, so let's go ahead and, take things a little bit slowly and let 21 seconds go through. And we'll bust out this block, and we'll grab the power star in the process. So yeah, that was 8 power stars that we actually got for the sake of the first video for Super Mario 64 DS. So, top notch and pretty fantastic. So yeah, I suppose we should probably end things off at this point right here. So join me next time for more of Let's Play of Super Mario 64 DS. Instead, we're going to be moving on to the next world, which is Womp's Fortress. So I'll see you guys on Wednesday. Later, fellas.